Struggles of our life. Once upon a time, a girl whined to her father about how awful her life was and how she didn't know how she was going to get by. She was weary of always battling and trying. It appeared that as soon as one problem was overcome, another one arose. Her chef father led her to the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water and set them on high heat. When the 3 pots started to boil, he put potatoes in one, eggs in the other, and ground coffee beans in the third. He then left them to boil without saying anything to his daughter. The daughter whimpered and waited expectantly, wondering what he was doing. He switched off the stoves after 20 minutes. He drained the potatoes and placed them in a basin. He took the eggs and placed them in a dish. He then ladled out the coffee and poured it into a cup. He questioned, turning to face her. "Daughter, what do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs, and coffee," she said quickly. "Look closer and touch the potatoes," he said. She did, and she noticed how silky they were. He then instructed her to smash an egg. She examined the hard-boiled egg after removing the shell. Finally, he asked her to take a taste of her coffee. Its intoxicating perfume made her grin. "Father, what does this all mean?" she inquired. He went on to explain that the potatoes, eggs, and coffee beans had all encountered the same adversity, boiling water. Each one, however, behaved differently. The potato went in tough, hard, and unyielding, but in boiling water, it softened and weakened. The egg was delicate, with a thin outer shell preserving its liquid interior until it was immersed in boiling water. The innards of the egg then hardened. The ground coffee beans, on the other hand, were one of a kind. They transformed the water and developed something new after being exposed to hot water. "Which one are you?" he inquired of his child. "How do you respond when adversity knocks on your door? Do you consider yourself a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean?" Moral: in life, things happen around us, things happen to us, but the only thing that truly matters is how you choose to react to it and what you make out of it. Life is all about leaning, adopting, and converting all the struggles that we experience into something positive. The Dreaming Priest. A long time ago, there was a priest who was both exceedingly indolent and impoverished. He didn't want to perform any hard work, but he dreamed of becoming wealthy one day. He obtained his meal by pleading for alms. As part of the charity, he received a pot of milk one morning. He was overjoyed and headed home with the pot of milk. He cooked the milk, drank part of it, and then poured the rest into a saucepan. In order to transform the milk to curd, he added minor curds to the saucepan. He then went to sleep. While sleeping, he began to fantasize about the pot of curd. He imagined that once he became wealthy, all of his problems would vanish. His mind returned to the pot of milk that he had placed aside to curdle. By morning, the pot of milk would set, and it would be converted to curd, he imagined. I'd churn the curd and turn it into butter. I'd melt the butter and create ghee from it. I'll then go to the market and sell that ghee for a profit. I'm going to buy a hen with that money. The hen will lay numerous eggs, which will hatch into many chickens. These chickens will in turn lay hundreds of eggs, and I will soon have a poultry farm of my own. He kept on imagining. I'm going to sell all of my poultry hens and buy some cows to start a milk dairy. Everyone in town will purchase milk from me. I'll be quite wealthy, and I'll soon acquire jewelry. The king will purchase all of my treasures. I'll be so wealthy that I'll be able to marry a stunningly gorgeous girl from a wealthy family. I'll soon have a lovely boy. If he causes any trouble, I will be furious and will smack him with a large stick to teach him a lesson. During this dream, he unintentionally took up the stick next to his bed and, believing he was punishing his kid, raised the stick and whacked the pot. The pot of milk broke and he awoke from his daydream. Moral: there is no substitute for hard work. Dreams cannot be fulfilled without hard work. Keep your dream. I have a friend named Monty Roberts who owns a horse ranch in San Isidro. He has let me use his house to put on fundraising events to raise money for youth at-risk programs. He introduced me the last time I was there by stating, "I want to tell you why I let Jack use my horse." It all started with a young guy who was the son of an itinerant horse trainer who would go from stable to stable, racing track to racetrack, farm to farm, and ranch to ranch training horses. As a result, the boy's high school education was frequently disrupted. He was assigned to write a paper about what he wanted to be and do when he grew up when he was a senior. That night, he wrote a 7-page paper outlining his ambition to one day own a horse ranch. He wrote about his idea in great detail, even drawing a layout of a 200-acre ranch with all the houses, stables, and track marked. Then he sketched out a comprehensive floor plan for a 4,000-square-foot mansion on a 200-acre dream ranch. He put a great deal of his heart into the project, and the next day he handed it in to his teacher. 2 days later he received his paper back. On the front page was a large red F with a note that read, "See me after class." The boy with the dream went to see the teacher after class and asked, "Why did I receive an F?" "This is an unreasonable ideal for a young lad like you," remarked the teacher. "You don't have any money. You come from a nomadic family. You don't have any resources. A horse ranch costs a lot of money to run. You must purchase the land. You must pay for the original breeding stock, as well as high stud fees later on. You'll never be able to accomplish it." The teacher then said, "If you rework this paper with a more realistic aim, I will reconsider your grade." The boy went home and thought long and hard about it. He sought his father for advice. "Look, son, you have to make up your own opinion about this," his father remarked. "However, I believe it is a critical decision for you." Finally, after a week of deliberation, The boy submitted the identical work with no revisions. He stated, "You can keep the F and I'll keep my dream." I tell you this story because you are sitting in my 4,000 square foot house in the middle of my 200-acre horse ranch, Monty stated to the gathering group. That school paper is still displayed over the fireplace. He went on to say, "The best part of the story is that 2 summers ago that same schoolteacher brought 30 kids to camp out on my ranch for a week. Look, Monty, I can tell you this now," the teacher stated as he was departing. "I was a bit of a dream stealer when I was your instructor. During those years, I snatched many children's dreams. Fortunately, you had the will not to give up on yours. Moral: don't let anyone steal your dreams. Follow your heart, no matter what. No dream is too big or too small when one works hard to live it. One should always try making dreams come true no matter what."